This goes against the script of doing any sort of short form content. This is long form content. So if you want to skip, skip. But this is essentially a spiel of advice, thoughts, conclusions, being in the AI space for as long as I've been in the AI space. And what I've seen as a creator, what I've seen as a developer, as a business owner, and a lot of things are changing on a daily basis when it comes to this. As you see, I'm in my room right now. I got everything, got the video and, the goals and all that good stuff. But reality really is that AI is changing everything that we've already done. And people are psyoped. They're on social media. They're looking at all these crazy things. And short form content, obviously, I'm guilty of it. But there is a massive change basically going on in the background right now. The AI is infiltrating a lot of businesses. It's taking people's jobs, unfortunately, but it's enhancing people's jobs too. But I think the biggest issue is the resistance in a technology. So if you look at the early 2000s with the internet, right, the early companies that adopted it did really well. The companies that didn't end up doing well. I mean, obviously there's small businesses that don't even have a website, but if you're actually looking at the middle market or the top market, the people that were willing to make mistakes and fall quicker were the ones that essentially did really well. You saw this with social media companies. You saw this with automotive. You've seen it with Amazon, etc. It's going to be the same in AI. There's going to be businesses that don't adopt this stuff, and they're going to fall way behind. And I think the biggest problem that I've noticed as someone who's a developer and obviously founding Cortana Solutions, my business partner, Amin Hamdan, is that a lot of companies' software sucks. They were sold these SaaS solutions that weren't really good, and now you're having to implement AI in a system that isn't built from the ground up. And this is where the opportunity lies of if you could build legacy systems from scratch, and implement small pieces of the pie, and then eventually, essentially, AI is going to eat software totally. I'm a firm believer in that, because legacy software and cookie cutter software is not useful to businesses that could build a custom solution. So if you look at AI and how it's going to change this, is that a lot of businesses probably can't afford to keep somebody on board to manage all this stuff. And essentially AI is going to be managing it. I'm a developer and I understand that it does a better job than I do on majority of stuff. But it's going to be companies that come in and not only consult, but implement. I think the huge thing that changes in the consulting industry is people can talk about AI all they want. Listen, I love talking about AI, but I have a unique situation where I can actually implement the solution. So not offloading it to Pakistan or India like a lot of these other people do. I actually understand the problems and can solve them. And again, there's probably a lot of people out there like this, so that there's a huge opportunity in that space. But the issue is really going to lie is at how these systems are going to be built and legacy software is placed in that system. And resisting it is going to ruin the legacy system. So like if you're let's say Salesforce, and you have API, people are just going to build out of the box and just replace you. But if you have an API or you have something that's compatible, maybe they might not replace Salesforce. They said, hey, listen, you already have a huge platform that you have access to, and there's a lot of data in there, and there's a lot of tech debt. Let's just communicate with it. We don't need to replace it. It's working fine. Let's just use an API. But if you don't have an API and there's a lot of clunkiness, people might just say, fuck it, and then just replace the whole thing. And then you lose your moat. So I think this is the problem with SaaS companies is they're thinking about it the wrong way. They're being less compatible because they want to defend their moat versus more compatible. But back to what I was saying before, obviously I'm going on a rant talking about a lot of things, is that there is a huge opportunity in this space, in consulting, especially in implementation. The problem is that you see on social media a lot of the time is people are like, oh, it's bullshit, AI, freaking automation agency. Like these people, first of all, are selling courses. They're not selling implementation. I can tell if you, as somebody who's been doing this for years, a lot for free. Recently, this year, actually charging money for it, is a lot of money in it, and there's a lot of good experience, and there's a lot of partnerships. There's a lot of good learning experience too, because you're doing a lot more hands-on work and you're solving a lot of problems, which will help you in the future, especially if you're building a business in AI, to be able to be confident in what you're selling. So the biggest issue is the businesses themselves don't understand, and you're there to be the bridge in the gap to help them understand. The issue, I'm just telling you from somebody that has faced this, so giving you free game if you want to start a business like this, is that the communication is huge. So if you're going after small businesses, a lot of them don't know that they even have a problem to begin with. And trying to sell a solution to somebody that doesn't have a problem is very difficult. So you're better off going up market, almost like Herbosi saying, people hate on Herbosi, but it's true. People that know they have a problem, need a solution for it. You just have to explain the solution and why it's important and what to charge for it. The issue is that a lot of people want to go after small businesses and build websites and all this other bullshit. That's not a huge market. Again, you're going to run yourself to zero. You're going to sell, a service that a lot of people are selling. There's like the expertise in building a website is zero now with AI. But implementing AI services, there's always a huge gap because of knowing systems engineering and understanding old legacy software and understanding where AI can fit versus where it can't fit. And that, honestly, I can tell you, it's going to take a lot of time. But if you can figure that out, if you can understand the problem, meaning that you can diagnose it, you can understand how the system works. So, for example, let's say you have a Salesforce or legacy software that might not communicate with something. AI can still pull the data from there, but you have to understand where and how to build a system of where a legacy system isn't communicating. So, like if AI is pulling data from an Excel sheet, it's a lot different than pulling it from Salesforce that might not have an API. So, again, these are very minute and like very, I'd say, niche problems, but that's where the money's at. If it's a cookie cutter solution and they can figure it out with their Codex on their computer or their Claude on their computer, they don't need you. But if you can figure out the solution and understand their problem better than they can and implement something that they never thought of, there's a lot of money in that, number one. And number two, you're going to get a lot more clients because you're going to understand how systems and problems work a lot more, especially in the area of AI.